Lexie Hull, a talented young player, has been making waves in the WNBA with her impressive skills on the court. The new WNBA collective bargaining agreement has brought about significant changes that could impact her career. With more opportunities for players to earn and benefits that could change the game, Lexie's future looks bright. Adapting to these changes won't be easy, though. Lexie faces stiff competition from other talented players vying for the top spots. Expectations are high, and with the new CBA, there's added pressure to perform. She'll need to bring her A game every time she steps onto the court. The WNBA landscape is shifting, and Lexie needs to stay focused on her goals. With a strong work ethic and determination, she can navigate these changes successfully. Her playing style will be crucial in standing out among her peers. The new CBA deal brings about a significant change in player contracts. More players will be able to secure better deals, which could mean more financial stability for Lexie and her peers. This change could also lead to more opportunities for players to showcase their skills. What does this mean for Lexie's playing style and the way teams strategize? The specifics of the CBA deal are complex, but one thing is clear: it's a game changer. Lexie and other players will have more freedom to make choices about their careers. This could lead to some exciting developments in the WNBA. One pivotal moment in Lexie's career could be her decision on whether to stay with her current team or explore other options. The CBA deal gives her more leverage in these discussions. This choice will significantly impact her future and how she grows as a player. The new CBA deal also emphasizes player health and wellness, which is a crucial aspect of any player's career. With better support systems in place, Lexie and other players can focus on their game without worrying about their well-being. To understand why Lexie Hull's recent contract situation is the domino that just reset the entire trajectory of the Indiana Fever, you have to look past the box score and into the gritty, unglamorous reality of what it takes to win a championship in the modern WNBA. For years, the Fever were a team defined by potential, draft picks, and the long-term promise of a rebuild. But the 2025 season changed everything. We saw Lexie Hull transform from a high-energy rotational piece into an indispensable starter, the kind of defensive specialist and floor spacer who makes life easier for superstars like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. When the 2025 playoffs rolled around, and the Fever found themselves in a high-stakes semifinal battle against the Las Vegas Aces, it wasn't just the stars carrying the load. It was Lexie Hull playing 43 minutes in an overtime thriller, battling through a back injury, and diving for loose balls with two black eyes from a previous collision. That version of Lexie Hull, the one who averaged over 10 points and 5 rebounds in the postseason, is the player the Fever realized they could not afford to lose. As we move into 2026, the context of her new deal is inextricably linked to the most high-stakes labor negotiations in the history of women's sports. The WNBA is at a crossroads, and Lexie Hull is the poster child for the new middle class of the league. Under the old collective bargaining agreement, a player like Hull, drafted 6th overall in 2022, was locked into a rookie-scale contract that paid her roughly $88,000 in her final year. In the old WNBA, that was standard. In the new WNBA, a league pulling in record-breaking television ratings, selling out arenas, and attracting massive expansion fees from cities like Toronto and Portland, that number is a relic of the past. When Hull's rookie deal expired at the end of the 2025 season, she didn't just become a restricted free agent, she became a test case for how the Indiana Fever would manage their cap in an era where the salary ceiling is expected to explode. The negotiations for the new CBA have been nothing short of a chess match between the players' union and the league's front office. On one side, you have the league offering a structure that could see maximum salaries jump to over $1 million by 2026, supported by a 70% share of net revenue. On the other side, the players are pushing for a more aggressive model based on gross revenue, similar to the NBA, which would fundamentally change the way teams like the Fever approach their roster construction. For Indiana, the Lexie Hull problem was actually a Lexie Hull opportunity. By securing her future now, the Fever are betting on the fact that the 3-and-D archetype is the most valuable currency in a league where offensive gravity is increasingly concentrated in a few superstar hands. Think about the chemistry Lexie has developed with Caitlin Clark. Throughout the 2025 season, while Clark was dealing with the immense pressure of being the face of the league, Hull became her primary outlet and her defensive shield. When teams tried to blitz Clark at the logo, it was often Hull making the smart cut or relocation to the corner. Her three-point shooting, which stayed remarkably consistent even as her volume doubled, forced defenses to stay honest. You cannot leave a 37% shooter open when you are also trying to double-team the greatest playmaker in the world. This is why her new deal isn't just about rewarding her for a career-high season, it's about ensuring the Fever have the right infrastructure to maximize the Caitlin Clark era. If you lose a player like Hull to a higher bidder, you aren't just losing 7 points and 4 rebounds, you're losing the defensive win shares and the veteran-style toughness that held the locker room together during their 2025 playoff run. The specifics of how this deal changes the Fever forever lie in the salary cap flexibility. In previous years, the Fever could hoard talent because so many of their stars were on rookie contracts, but with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark eventually moving toward their own massive extensions under the new CBA, every dollar spent on the supporting cast has to be hyper-efficient. By locking in Hull, the Fever front office has signaled that they view her as a core 4 player. They are moving away from the stars and scrubs model and toward a balanced, championship-caliber rotation. This deal sets the floor for what an elite role player is worth in the new WNBA economy. If Lexie Hull is making significantly more than the old veteran maximum, it forces every other team in the league to reevaluate their own cap sheets. The 2026 season is also a landmark because of the expansion draft for the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire. Every team in the league is currently looking at their roster and deciding who is untouchable. By finalizing a new deal for Hull, the Fever have effectively placed her behind a protective glass wall. She isn't just a piece of the puzzle anymore, she is a cornerstone of the franchise's identity. We saw her value during the offseason as well, as she joined the unrivaled league in Miami, further honing her skills in a high-intensity 3-on-3 environment. This offseason development is crucial because it shows a player who isn't satisfied with a breakout year. She's looking to add more playmaking and off-the-dribble scoring to her arsenal, which would make her even more lethal alongside the Fever's core. There's also the human element of this deal. Lexie Hull has become a fan favorite in Indianapolis. The hustle plays, the floor burns, the offensive rebounds over players 4 inches taller than her, the lockdown defense on the opponent's best perimeter threat. These are the things that build a culture. The Fever spent a decade searching for an identity after the Catchings era, and in 2025 they finally found it. It's an identity built on pace, space, and a refusal to be outworked. Lexie Hull embodies that more than perhaps anyone else on the roster. When she spoke to the media after the Game 5 loss to the Aces, she talked about how she had built a life in Indiana and how much she loved the fans. Her commitment to the city and the franchise made this deal a priority for the front office. They knew that losing her would be a blow to the team's soul as much as its stat sheet. Looking ahead to the 2026 season, which is set to tip off on May 8th, the Fever are entering a new reality. They are no longer the young team on the rise. They are a legitimate contender that pushed the world champion Aces to the brink. The league is changing around them, with a 44-game schedule and a mid-season break for the FIBA World Cup, but the Fever have solidified their core. This deal for Hull allows the team to focus on the remaining gaps in their roster, knowing their perimeter defense and secondary shooting are locked in. It also sends a message to the rest of the WNBA. Indiana is willing to pay to keep their talent. In a league that has historically seen stars forced to leave for better situations or higher pay, the Fever are positioning themselves as a destination franchise. They are investing in player wellness, charter flights, and the kind of long-term stability that the new CBA aims to provide for everyone. For Lexie, this deal represents the culmination of years of hard work, from her championship days at Stanford to her early struggles as a rookie trying to find her footing in a league with only 144 spots. The ripple effects of this contract will be felt for years. As the salary cap continues to rise and the league's revenue-sharing models become more transparent, the Hull deal will be remembered as the moment the Indiana Fever stopped playing for the future and started playing for right now. They have their superstar in Clark, their anchor in Boston, and now they have their engine in Lexie Hull. The WNBA landscape is shifting, and while the negotiations between the union and the league continue to be complex and sometimes contentious, the Fever have made their move. They've decided that the cost of excellence is high, but the cost of losing a player like Lexie Hull is even higher. As fans prepare for the 30th anniversary season of the WNBA, the excitement in Indianapolis is at an all-time high. The schedule is out, the tickets are selling at a record pace, and the roster is taking a definitive championship-ready shape. Lexie Hull's new deal didn't just change her life, it changed the expectations for an entire franchise. The Indiana Fever are no longer just a team to watch, they are the team to beat, and Lexie Hull is going to be right there at the center of it all. diving for every loose ball and hitting every clutch three until the job is done. The true gravity of Lexie Hull's new deal isn't just found in the dollar amount or the years on the paper. It's found in what it represents for the rest of the Indiana Fever's roster construction. For the first time in nearly a decade, the Fever aren't just reacting to the market, they are setting it. By making Hull a priority in this cycle, the front office is acknowledging a fundamental truth of the modern WNBA stars like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Get you to the playoffs, but players like Lexie Hull get you to the finals. In the 2025 postseason, when the Fever were pushed to the limit by the Las Vegas Aces, we saw the blueprint. With Clark managing a lingering groin injury that limited her explosiveness, the team needed someone to step up and provide the connector energy that keeps a high-octane offense from stalling. Hull didn't just step up, she became the bridge between the Fever's past struggles and their championship-caliber future. This contract is also a calculated move to navigate the looming expansion draft. With the Toronto Tempo and Portland Fire entering the league in 2026, every franchise is looking at their roster and sweating. The expansion draft is designed to strip depth from the league's most talented teams, and Indiana, with its embarrassment of young riches, was a prime target. By locking Hull into a long-term deal that aligns with the new CBA's expected revenue-sharing models, the Fever have effectively taken her off the board. They've signaled to Toronto and Portland that they view Lexie as an untouchable piece of their culture. This isn't just about protecting a player. It's about protecting an identity. Hull's 2025 campaign, which saw her post career-best numbers while taking on the toughest defensive assignments in the league, proved that she is the prototype for the new WNBA wing-switchable, fearless, and a knockdown shooter under pressure. Looking at the broader financial landscape, the Lexie Hull effect is going to ripple through the upcoming free agency period. As other teams wait for the final ink to dry on the CBA, the Fever's proactive stance gives them a massive recruiting advantage. They aren't just telling free agents that Indiana is a place to win, they are showing them that they take care of their own. This is the big market energy that the Fever have lacked in previous iterations. With Lexie's growing brand ranging from her partnership with Teriyaki Madness to her high-profile appearances in the unrivaled league, she has become a walking advertisement for the viability of Indianapolis as a premier basketball destination. When the Fever tip off the 2026 season on May 9th against the Dallas Wings, the spotlight will naturally be on the clash between Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers. It will be a battle of number one picks and a rematch of icons. But the real story for those who have followed this team's rebuild is going to be the presence of number 10. Seeing Lexie Hull on that floor, secured and central to the game plan, is the ultimate sign that the Indiana Fever have finally arrived. They are no longer a project, they are a power. This deal ensures that as the WNBA enters its 30th anniversary season and its most lucrative era to date, the Fever have the right people in the room to turn that potential into a permanent legacy. The leverage Lexie Hull gained during this negotiation period wasn't just built on her regular season reliability, it was forged in the fires of the 2025. When the Indiana Fever entered the playoffs without the offensive gravity of Caitlin Clark and the veteran shooting of Sophie Cunningham due to injuries, many experts wrote them off. Instead, we saw the birth of Hull Ball. Lexie didn't just fill a spot, she dictated the pace of the game. Averaging over 10 points per game in the postseason, she proved that her offensive game had caught up to her elite defensive instincts. This surge in production is exactly why her new contract is a landmark deal. It sets the market for what a connector is worth. In a league where the salary cap is the central battleground of CBA negotiations, the Fever's decision to commit to Lexie shows they value the invisible stats. The deflections, the box outs, and the sheer mental toughness of playing through a back injury and 2 black eyes in a high-stakes Game 5. Furthermore, this deal is a direct defensive maneuver against the expansion drafts for the Toronto Tempo and the Portland Fire. Both new franchises are looking for established culture setters, and Hull was at the top of every scout's list. By securing her future, Indiana has effectively closed the door on the league's newest teams before they could even make an offer. As she refines her playmaking in the unrivaled league this offseason, Lexie is evolving from a 3-and-D specialist into a multifaceted threat who can lead the second unit or anchor the starting 5. When the Fever walk into Gainbridge Fieldhouse on May 9th to face Dallas, they won't just be showcasing their stars. They will be fielding a roster that has been meticulously protected and financially stabilized, with Lexie Hull as the engine that makes the whole machine run.